Hi guys, it's me and I'm back, and today I'm going to be working on my style, which is going to be the braid out. I washed my hair already and I wash it in sections, in braided sections, and it just makes it easier and I have less detangling to do when it's time to style. I like to let it sort of get the excess water off in my husband's t-shirt for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I start working on it when it's still kind of damp. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do most of the back off camera, and when I come back I'll do the front pieces so you can kind of just get an idea of what my braiding technique is, which is the basic one that we all learned when we were kids. And then I'll show you what products I'm using and just sort of my process, and everyone can see what I do. All right, so I'll be back shortly with half of my hair braided. Hi, I'm back, and as you can see, I'm almost done with the full head of hair. It's probably about 16 braids so far, and I like to do mine small because I'm trying to get the relaxed hair to match the texture of my new growth. And since I have a pretty tight curl pattern or kink pattern, I need the braids to be pretty small for it to kind of match. The stuff that I'm working with is I'm using the Carol's Daughter hair milk. I'm using the Jane Carter Solution curl defining cream, and I'm sealing with some jojoba oil. I've been using obviously these little sort of like clamps to hold my hair in place, as you can see here. I've got a detangling comb, and I use a tangle teaser to sort of smooth the rest of my hair. So I'll show you this braid here, how I break it down. This is still from the wash. I like to leave it in sections, braided sections, because it keeps it from tangling up too much when it's time. And you can see you can see my kinks and my relaxed hair. So I believe this is a type 4 pattern, and it's pretty dense. You can see you can't really see down to my scalp, and it's very, very thick hair. So this is going to end up being about 2 braids. I take my little clamp and put this to the back so it's out of the way, and then I'll work with this section right here. As you can see, I'm not being super specific about the parting because ultimately when I have it out, I'm trying to blend it all together anyway. So I use about a quarter size amount of the Carol's Daughter hair milk. You can see the consistency of it. It's, you know, it's not super duper thick. And as the hair is drying out, sometimes you need a little bit more to, you know, work with than you did in the back of the hair. I use about this amount of the Jane Carter Solution curl defining cream, and I work that through pretty well, smoothing in the direction that I'm trying to go. And then that's my mom off camera. And then what I'm gonna do is seal it with the jojoba oil, and I use about 4 drops of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And smooth that over the top. Make sure I get everything smooth and going in one direction. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Use this wide tooth comb to just make sure there's no major tangles or kinks in there. I try to keep the hair definitely pulled smooth, and then I use the tangle teaser to smooth it all out all the way so that I have a really smooth braid and everything's really like the hair's really stretched in the braid that I'm making. And just try to take my time, be patient with it, and smooth it all the way through. You can see kind of how that works. And then, honestly, I just do the normal braid that I was taught growing up as a kid. Nothing fancy about this braid. Just really, really simple. I'm not sure if my hands are in the way, but I'll turn a little bit so maybe that's more clear. And you see the conditioner is a pretty good amount of the conditioner, but when it dries, you won't see the residue, you know, that you see right there. It dries not white or flaky or powdery. It's just, looks just like your hair. You won't see any conditioner when it's dry. The ends I don't worry about so much either, because I may actually set these ends, I may actually set them on curlers, on small perm rods, but I'll decide that when it's time to really wrap it for the night. Right now I'm gonna let these braids air dry. So you can see I just literally just smooth the end together because I'm probably gonna curl it. Then I move on to the next section. Again, you can see what my curl pattern's looking like. It's you can see how frizzy it is. It clumps, but it's not super duper defined. I like it though. It's cool. So again, with the Carol's Daughter hair milk, I smooth that through first. Make sure I get some on all the way through to the ends. Smooth it through. Jane Carter. About a dime size of that, so it's like a quarter of the hair milk, dime size of the Jane Carter. And then just a few drops of the jojoba to seal it. I've tried it other ways using the oil. You know, like I think there's like some method where you use the oil before you seal it with the cream, but I find that the oil locks out the other stuff, so it's not even gonna get in there. For my hair, it's different with everybody's hair, so like maybe you'll find that it works better the other way for you. But for me, I found that this method of having the oil be the last thing I use has been much more effective for me in keeping the conditioner locked in. And that's it. I keep it smooth, I try to keep it stretched, and then I work on the next braid. Again, just a simple 3-strand plait that I learned growing up as a kid. Hasn't changed, I'm not doing anything fancy, just single plaits. Making sure that I get everything really sort of tight but not pulling too much. Work my way down. Switch my grip sometimes because it gets a little tiring with my arms in the air. And that's about it. So when I'm done with all this and I let these braids air dry for a little while, I may roll the ends and then wrap it for the night. And when that's all done, what I can do is I can come back and do the takedown. You guys can see, you know, I'll take most of it down, I'll leave a few. I'll show you my takedown method and kind of the outcome of it, how it looks when it's all loose and free. So, you know, I'll do this last two myself off camera, and then I will end this video, round it out with the takedown tomorrow morning when it's all dry. But as you can see, nothing special, just a bunch of plaits. And ultimately though, it makes a really, really nice, like it blends very well with my curl pattern when these come out, and it makes a nice sort of like afro. So I'll be back tomorrow morning to show you guys the takedown. So I'm back with the takedown portion of my braid out. As you can see, I've kind of ended up with a sort of fluffy, curly little fro. And this is just from braids, and I did actually, as you can see, use the perm rods to curl the ends. I don't always do that because sometimes I like the bigger, fuller, straighter look. If I use the perm rods, obviously it shrinks the size of the afro, but that's fun too. You see it's very cute. I like it. I've just got 2 more to take down, and so I'll let you see sort of how the braids ended up drying. The way they look is very stretched, as you can see in the roots, and very smooth through the braid. Literally it's just sort of like unraveling the braid little by little. It's just the 3 pieces, sort of like 3 pieces weave together. You just quickly unravel them, then you can sort of fluff and blend it. I like to either piece it apart like this, or if you want to, you can kind of, if you want it to be a little bit more frizzy, you can piece it further and further apart. Very easily this comes out, and you can see how it looks. Again, the braid very smooth into the braid, and then just a little curled end. What I like to use is a little jojoba on your fingers. I already have some on there, so I don't need to add any because I don't want to make the braid too greasy. And then I just go into this last braid and unravel it. Usually I'm doing this in the morning before work, so I'm usually in the process of getting ready, making my coffee, doing a million things, and while all that's happening, the braids are coming down because it can take quite some time. This is a weekend, so it's not that crucial as far as the speed, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to take these braids down, break them apart, and what I really like is they come out really shiny and smooth. I love the braids for that. I feel like it really stretches the hair and creates this sort of nice wave pattern in there. You can break it up a little bit like this if you want to, sort of however you want it to look, and you can fluff it back a little or forward, make a little bang if you want. But I think it ends up being really, really cute. And you can pin one side up if you're interested in that, or just fluff it back. I like to leave mine kind of loose and big. It ends up falling usually pretty nice. You can see I've got a couple of pieces here that didn't curl really well in the curler. All I have to do is tuck those in, and they usually stay. That's the good thing about our texture of hair, is it really sort of blends together and holds the style. So this is the outcome of the braid out with the curls, and I'll do another one without the curled ends so you can see how it typically looks. Normally during the week I actually wear it all pulled back, and it's just a very wavy bun. I still use the braids to create the texture though. I've been transitioning without any heat, so in order to actually have texture I have to do this a couple of times a week. But what's really nice is I don't have to wash it every time. I can style it with just creams and leave-in conditioner, or I can just pull it back. And I've been getting a lot of wear out of this. This style can last me 3 to 4 days actually, if I am careful with it and if I sleep with it the right way. So hopefully this will be helpful, and we're gonna do some